as the pioneer of the European Parliament, to ask the European and American governments to fulfill their responsibility in this regard. First, preventing another tragedy by adopting appropriate measures to save the peaceful solution, that's to say, transforming liberty to prison. And second, by accepting some of sick and wounded residents in the European countries. Dear friends, allow me to also highlight the recent important decision adopted by the European Union in the form of imposing sanctions against the mullah's oil exports and central bank. This is truly a major step. I hope that other countries in the world would also support these sanctions. For too many years, Europe and the US tried to give concessions to the Iranian regime to convince it to give up its nuclear program. But this policy proved to be fruitless, not because the concessions were limited, but because the mullahs cannot give up their drive towards the bomb. On February 3rd, Khamenei stressed that he would not back off his nuclear program. Why? Because the mullahs have no guarantee for their survival. Thus, sanctions are necessary, but sanctions have to be coupled with respect for the Iranian people's resolve to change the regime. Suppression and executions in Iran, the domination of Iraq and Lebanon, and meddling in other locations, suppression of Ashraf residents, and the nuclear program are not isolated phenomena. So long as the mullahs retain the power to suppress and execute, they will also develop nuclear bombs. Nuclear weapons are the byproduct of this evil force. So any retreat with regards to the suppression of Ashraf or the regime's terrorism would empower the force that produces nuclear weapons. I want to conclude that the key to the Iranian problem, including its nuclear program, is the Iranian people's resistance. There is an enormous potential in Iran to overthrow the mullahs. This was demonstrated in the uprising of 2009 and 2011. This potential, with the leadership of the resistance movement, is capable to create fundamental change in Iran. This is a resistance that has sacrificed much and will continue to do so for a democratic and free society, a republic based on the separation of religion and state, the equality of women and men, the abolishment of the death sentences, and a non-nuclear Iran. I thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Mrs. Rajavi, for those inspiring words. And we all share your anxiety in relation to what could or what may happen in relation to Camp Liberty. And that's the reason we have such a powerful panel of speakers here today by way of solidarity and support. And it now gives me great pleasure to call on the second of our American guests, the former chairman of the United States Democratic Party, Governor Howard Dean. Over to you, Howard.